Hey everyone, I wanted to make a special video today going over the frame rate in Halo Wars Definitive Edition. Now I'm going to be making the same style of a video for Halo Wars 2, and I'll post a link to that in the description if you're interested. But for this one, I was able to record some clips of building a base on Terminal Moraine and also doing a brief attack on Halo Wars Definitive Edition. This clip you're watching here is on the Xbox One S. And we know that Halo Wars on the Xbox One targets 60 frames per second. And I was pretty impressed here. The frame rate stayed relatively at 60 FPS. It dipped down into the high 50s briefly, but overall it seemed pretty locked at 60 FPS, which was great to see. Now let's see how it does in combat on the Xbox One S. So moving on here to the second clip, this is on the Xbox One S still. And we can see early in the clip the video starts in the 20s, but that is not how it actually performs. That's just the program really starting to process the video. But right when we start getting into combat, we notice some screen tearing at the top of the screen here. And also our frame rate goes down pretty substantially. We go all the way down into the 30s when ODSTs start flying and a lot of explosions start happening. And I'm a little disappointed, I'll be honest with you. I think the Xbox One, even the S console, is so much more powerful than the 360. And Halo Wars 1 was about 8 years old when this came to Xbox One. So I'm not so sure if it's designed to dip that low in frame rates. We even see some stuff in the 20s, but I'm not sure if that's entirely accurate with this application. But I guess you do notice from all of the, projectiles flying and the missiles and the canister shells and the power abilities and the explosions and everything, that surely has to have an impact on the frame rate, but that was pretty substantial. So that concludes the test here on the Xbox One S. Let's move on to the all-powerful Xbox One X and try it again. So here we go. We're going to do the same kind of test of an opening build, just making some units on our base on the Xbox One X. And by and large, everything seems to be the same with the frame rate. We do see it dip in the low 50s just a tad. And, this may be too close in the results to the Xbox One S to say that this performs worse. And I don't think Halo Wars Definitive Edition can go up to 4K. Granted, this was recorded in 1080p, but I do know Halo Wars 2 on the X can go up to 4K. But by and large, this is all the same. So let's go ahead and move on to the combat test on the Xbox One X. So with the combat test on the Xbox One X, everything seems to run a lot better. We can see with some combat and some Mac Blast going off, the frame rate really doesn't dip as severely as it does on the S. Everything's staying in the 50s, and when we go to the other test, we were noticing even some things in the 30s and even the high 20s. And there's about as many units attacking this base with the same amount of leader powers. I was trying to do everything I could to really see how low this frame rate could go, and we do see it go in the high 30s here, but nothing as severe of a drop as on the S. And the frame rate seems to recover faster on the X than the S, but I mean, towards the end of this clip, when the actions really get intense, the frame rate's actually kind of similar. So in one hand, I'm pretty impressed with how good the frame rate held up. On the other hand, I'm pretty disappointed as well due to how good the hardware is. But this could just be due to the design of the game. Maybe this Definitive Edition remaster was not all that awesome. I'll leave you here with a side-by-side clip of both of the openings of the two consoles to kind of see for yourself. This frame rate doesn't change all that much between the two machines. I can't do it exactly pound for pound between two recordings here, but it is pretty neat to compare the results right next to each other. So that concludes this frame rate test. Please let me know how you enjoyed this. I really enjoyed making this. I thought this was an excellent little tool, and I think I'll be doing some frame rate tests of other games on our second channel, which I will post a link to in the description. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm Andrew, and I'll see you, James.